What's up, everybody? Been a while. Lake Station Community Advocate and Educator here. It's been a bit. This time around, I'm going to talk about community residents, their concerns, their valid complaints, and council members. So, this is kind of something that everybody has within every community, and everybody knows this. There's always complaints, or what people see as a complaint, which is actually a valid concern. There's always someone to say, "Oh, you're whining, you're complaining." There's always going to be somebody who's observing their community in a new, different light, who because wants to see it get better or to stay functional. But what happens when they have no place to take those complaints or those concerns? Well, normally it's the council members and to a council meeting. However, what happens when those council members are complacent, when they're irresponsible, and they kind of just deflect from their duties that they were basically voted in to do? But you can find me on Facebook at Lake Station Strong Towns Collective and Lake Station Strong Local Conversations on Facebook. I am working out some stuff for YouTube and such. However, back to, community concerns and council members. So, some things that I wanted to touch on, when you are active in your community and you are out looking at things in your community, you are looking at your community in a different light, and you see the things that have either gone downhill, that have been neglected, that have been ignored. And those are valid complaints. That's you pay taxes, you trust these people to do their job in leadership, and when they don't, you should be holding them accountable because, that's your money that you're giving them, and that's what they should be doing is upholding their job and their duties for you as a resident. But when you're a resident and you're in your town, and it can be fun, and you learn new things, you meet new people in your community, and you find the things, like I said, that deserve some attention from your leadership. However, when you do those things, you have the tendency within a lot of social groups is you somehow, for some weird reason, because you want things to become better and to be well kept, you somehow are managed to be ousted by the community peer group, you're demonized, or you're just flat out just told to leave. Just move out of town. So then if that's the case, who do you talk to about the community concerns? You're supposed to go to the community, but when they don't help you, you should be turning to your council members. It's their duty to represent the community, whether they like it or not. That's where they're at. That is their duty. That's their job. And their job is to basically, it's within the interest of our community, and by actively listening to residential concerns and what some of their valid complaints are. Council members, they kind of participate in decision-making that affect the community. And they also, enact some policies that improve the quality of life for the residents, or sometimes, usually not. So what happens when the residents in your community get no corrective responses? They usually turn to social media, right? Or whatever the case is, they usually get the usual run around at the council meeting, what have you. And right now, I want to kind of draw a little attention to a post that was put out there by some social media platform out in my community. I'll just let you see this. Now, in this post, this is a very simple post. It just says, how does anyone know how to file a grievance against code enforcement? And the reason why is because in our town, our code enforcement, and in many democratic towns and cities, small towns mainly, is code enforcement has been completely weaponized. Because a lot of insolvencies and bad management of finances within towns, council members and city administrators have fallen into the trap of the insolvency, and they don't know how to fix it. And the first usual default that the town's usually very insolvent is they weaponize code enforcement to go get all those code enforcement so they can get some fines. And unfortunately, within our community, this is true, but you see this. And I'll let you read this for yourself. Pause it, read it. But while these may seem like totally out of left field and completely insane comments, a lot of this has been found to be, well, pretty true, and it's unfortunate. And as you see with the community, they know that something needs to change, and then a resident will say, we need to get the news involved because we need somebody to pay attention. And it's tough to get anybody to pay attention when political machines run everything from the ground floor all the way to the top floor. It's very tough to do that. So you want to get social media involved or get, the media involved in general, but as you see, these are some things that really people have had enough. Now, this is what I really wanted to draw attention to, is this bottom comment. This is where attending council meetings is important. Now, it's a funny thing because this comes from a person who moderates on another page in which they block me from because they know that I love to educate people within the community about what really goes on. And they really love being able to, control the media within our town on a very ground level, at a grassroots level, because if they can control that, they're able to hold their political stronghold in our town. But obviously some of these comments, they're not the only ones, and people have had enough for quite some time. But this is where attending a council meeting is an important step. Well, as you see, this resident is asking, when do those happen? When is the next one? Well, it's a funny thing because when you go on our local city's website, you click on the hyperlinks, it shows nothing. So then when you ask them, here's what they get. Well, why don't you just go to the mayor's office directly and ask for him for proper documentation to file the complaint? Well, that's great. You show up and his secretary says he's not in, even though he's wherever at. Which, in our community, we're always guessing where our mayor is because, he's been gone quite a bit. And this else. And as you see, residents know that good luck with that. Okay? Because they know that you're really not going to get nowhere. And no matter how much we get told, go to your council member and attend one of the open meetings, here's what they do is go attend that meeting. But then the website doesn't show anybody when those meetings are. When you call and ask, they either hang up on you or they give you a lie of, it's this day and you're only allowed to come to these meetings. With our, we have an open door law. You're allowed to go to those meetings, whether they like it or not. And they really don't want you being there because they don't want to hear your complaints. They don't want to hear their concerns within a community. They don't want that. So they're going to deflect you in any way possible. Something else that they do is they will actually tag code enforcement. And then what happens is it becomes weaponized through this dynamic. They tag code enforcement. They find out who is against it or what problems they have with the residents. They find out where they live, and then they go and harass those people to either shut them up, give them code enforcement violation fines, or altogether just weaponizingly harass them, which is what they've been doing lately. And as you see here, these are the communities waking up. But again, we have people who are part of the political spectrum here who support. Go to your council meetings, go to your members. I like this advice. Now, here's the problem. This is a council member. Look at the response. First, it's deflect, deny and deflect over anyone. And then it is, what is this? Absolutely no executive power. Who said council members have executive power? They have legislative power. The mayor has the executive power. The judge has the judicial, and guess what? Council members have the legislative power. So they deflect and they try to skew your information so you don't even know what's going on. But to regular people like me who love to get in the middle of these things, you can find them. Stay with me for part 2 of this council member and residential valid complaints, because in the next, I'm going to address this along with a couple other issues, and we're going to go down what council members really do. So, once again, I'm the Lake Station Community Advocate and Educator here, just here trying to educate the community members. Check out Lake Station Strong Towns Collective on Facebook, Lake Station Strong Local Conversations as well. We're out there, find us, and if you're in Lake Station, you can find the political party pages as well. But, stay with me till next time.